Do you have any idea how the early Pakistan used to be hundreds and thousands of years ago? In this presentation, we are going to discuss about it.
Through history, the territory inside the borders of Pakistan witnessed large civilizations, wars, development, religions, and reforms. In this video, we will advance rapidly through some important events that existed here. Modern humans are thought to have arrived on Pakistan between 73,000 and 55,000 years ago. Settled life, which farming and pastoralism, started around 7000 BC. People worked in agriculture and in domestication of animals like goats, sheep, or cattle.
So the students, in the video you have seen that how does the early Pakistan used to look like. For thousands of years ago, different races have poured through the Khyber and the Bolan passes, especially from the Central Asia into the northern part of the subcontinent. Here we have got Rajput here, we have got different races and the different people from different castes who have come from the different areas of the world. So they came here, they started living their life here, they started getting married here, and then they're having a kids of the mixed races. With the good farmland, plenty of the water, and in the past many forests, it must have seemed a wonderful place after the dry plains of their homelands. As when they entered here, they have got very good farmlands, which they have got a plenty of water, and before there were many forests, but with the passage of time this homeland got dried and had plains of their homeland. Plains of the homeland means there's a large flat area covered with the tree, but with the passage of time they lost everything. As well as plenty of the food, there was a gold and a silver too. Mohenjo-daro is an archaeological site in the province of the Sindh. Built around 2500 BCE, it was one of the largest settlements of the ancient Indus Valley civilization. Let's see its connection with the Pakistan in the next video.
The ancient city of Mohenjo-daro is one of the first urban centers in human history. Nestled in southern Pakistan's Indus River Valley, Mohenjo-daro is the largest and best preserved city of the Indus civilization, the earliest known civilization of the Indian subcontinent. Mohenjo-daro was built around 2500 BC, about the same time the Great Pyramids were being built in Egypt, and it spanned a surface area of nearly 500 acres, an incredible size for a city of this time period.
So you have seen in the video, it was about the Mohenjo-daro and the Indus Valley civilization. Mohenjo-daro was basically a part of the Pakistan where the Indus River used to go, and this civilization basically existed 4500 years ago. So let's get started. About 4500 years ago, there was a mysterious and a very civilized state in the Indus Valley. It stretched over almost all of what is now Pakistan. Basically, this civilization, these people of the Mohenjo-daro has been spread all over the Pakistan and the eastwards to the Delhi. Basically, this area of the Mohenjo-daro existed in the Indus Valley, which is connected us to the India, because these civilized people have been spreaded all around the Pakistan and along with the Delhi as well. The remains of the two great cities, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, as well as the 100 of the villages have been discovered. So whatever has left after 4500 years ago, it tells us about the great city of the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. The people populating these villages were called Dravidians and seems to have been more civilized than any other people in the world at that time. Mohenjo-daro was about 7 kilometers all around, with its main streets 9 meters wide. This kind of calculation tells us that they were very civilized. Their roads were made with the proper distance, with the proper measurements. Between these ran smaller streets, often with the Z bends in them. So they have made certain Z's bend in them. Can you think of any reason why these roads had sharp corners in them? I have an answer because you are supposed to find out the answer of this. The houses were made of mud, bricks, and often had rooms on the upper level.
The Citadel is home to the city's exceptional monuments, including the Great Bath, a 900 square foot tank fed from the Indus River. Mohenjo-Daro also had a sophisticated water system. Houses had baths and toilets, and the town featured both an elaborate sewage system and fresh water in 700 wells throughout the city.
Such early years, they used to have the room at the upper portion of the house, which was unusual, which was not something has been practicing in the older time. Richer houses had bathroom with the bath made of the clay and lined with the tar. Tar is basically, here it is written, tar is basically the black substance which is basically being painted over the walls so that the water cannot pass through to make them waterproof. They also had simple toilets. These emptied into the cover drain. This these people were so civilized that their drains were covered. Nowadays, you have seen there are so many drains which are open. The bigger drains are open, but in this civilization, they have covered their drains. They were so civilized, which ran down the center of the main street. In center of the city was an artificial hill made of the mud bricks. There was a hill over there. You can see the picture of this hill here. This hill was made of the mud bricks. Here were the most important buildings, the main one being a huge bath with the steps leading to it. You have seen here, this is the picture of the main bath. It is having basically a stairs here. It was basically a pond full of the water, and people used to take bath in it. It may have been a part of a temple, and people had to bath in before going in for the religious ceremonies. Basically, it was a pond full of water, and people use it for the religious purposes. Before going into any religious ceremony, people used to take a bath in it. There are the remains of the huge hall with many pillars, and archaeologists think. What are the archaeologists? Archaeologists are basically the people who study the buildings and the old civilizations that have been found underneath the ground. They thought that this may have been some kind of the parliament or the government building. No sign of the palace has ever been discovered. There were no palace that has been discovered by the archaeologists. We believe the whole of the Indus Empire was ruled by the priests. Priests are basically the people who are basically the fathers of the churches. Other cities were built on the similar lines to the Mohenjo-Daro but were smaller. There are other cities as well who have been following the footsteps of the Mohenjo-Daro civilization, but these were the smaller cities. The people of the Indus Valley civilization seems to have been very peaceful farmer. They grew barley, wheat, sesame, lentils, and peas. This is what they used to grow in their farms. How do we know this, since the people left no written record of the life at that time? So here is a question: how do we know that these people were very, very peaceful? We haven't even found any written record. Just found out the buildings in the Indus Valley, in the Mohenjo-Daro area of the Pakistan, but we don't know that. So let's see. Tiny of the fragments of the clothes have been found, showing that the people knew how to grow cotton and to weave the clothes. They had almost no metal except gold and a little of the copper and bronze, and the few metal tools that have been found are not very skillfully made. Obviously, they didn't have any metal. They have got gold and little bit of the bronze and the copper, and they use they have got very few metal tools which were not skillfully made because they didn't have much metal, so they didn't use it skillfully. Woods and stones were used to most of the things. They do not seem to have invented money, And we think that these people were paid by the government in grains and other food. They were used to basically merchandise their things. They purchase goods in return of their goods. They have they had a very simple kind of the writing, but no one has yet been able to read it. They have got a writing here, as you can see here. It's a mystery writing and nobody is being able to read it yet. And words usually appeared on the clay seal. This is a clay seal. They have got a wall made with the clay and they have sealed in it this writing.
After approximately 600 years, the city collapsed. No one is quite sure why, but the cause could potentially have been a change within the culture or in the path of the river. Without its crucial source of water, the city's residents may have moved away, leaving Mohenjo-Daro nearly abandoned.
So the people started to going the way they came in Mohenjo-Daro, and they started living there and they settled down there, and they introduced the different customs of their society there. But eventually, after 2,000 years ago, after 2,000 years, they started leaving that place because the Mohenjo-Daro was struck by a disaster, maybe an earthquake or a flood, or maybe the river has changed its way, which ruins almost the 5 kilometer area near the river. So trees were cut down, maybe for the burning or maybe for making the new building. Due to the river, all the soil was washed away. Therefore, the new crops were not grow. So therefore, the buildings people left there because this area was no more in use, and the building collapsed. I hope you enjoyed the video and got the concept of the early Pakistan. Thank you for watching.